Every new author has a story to claim. Sit back, listen to conversation between Terry Lynn and new authors on the rise, and let the journey begin.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to my podcast, Conversations Between Terry Lynn and New Authors. On this episode, I'm talking with my friend Janet Ashmore. She writes Christian children's books about the fruit of the Spirit. I think it's a very important topic to teach kids through stories, so thank you, Janet.
Welcome, Janet. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for picking my podcast to tell your story. Now, are you ready to start?
Sure. It's nice to see you.
It's nice to see you too, Janet.
Let's do this thing.
What inspired you to write stories for children?
I've worked with kids my whole life, and I was also a pediatric nurse until I retired a couple of years ago. And I always loved to tell stories. I had two sisters that were younger than me, and I used to tell them stories at bedtime, so it just stuck with me my whole life.
Yes, it's fun making up stories even as a kid.
Where did the idea for your first book come from?
I was teaching on the fruit of the Spirit in Bible school, and I thought I would love to do that with my nieces and nephews. At the time, I had 16 nieces and nephews under the age of 10. And so I said, I wanted to tell them all a story that would help the fruit of the Spirit, which the first fruit of the Spirit is love. I wanted to tell them a story about love and how they could learn to show love to each other. And so I wrote Larry the Llama Learns About Love. And I, at the same time, wanted to take a class on writing books for children. So I told them I was practicing writing a book for kids. And then the children, some of them asked me, well, if it makes a book, can we buy your book? And so I said, oh, I have to do this. So I went ahead and wrote the story, and that was the first one I published.
I wholeheartedly agree that we need to do a better job teaching children about the Bible and the fruits of the Spirit, so thank you for writing a spiritual book for kids.
You and I are in the same writing coaching program, Children's Book Mastery. Would you like to talk about the program? And what do you want people to know about it?
Yes, I absolutely love Karen's Children's Book Mastery coaching. And she teaches so many classes, and when you sit down and write a book, it's not all you have to do. And I learned there was so many things to do, but it was kind of just overwhelming. And so she put things together and made a strategic plan and showed us how we could start at the very beginning from a story idea and go all the way through to actually publish the book, and also how to market it from day one, and how to keep things going and keep the dream alive. And I think I've learned more in a year of coaching with her than any little seminar on, just that you take, that you see a class you might want to take about writing a book. It was much more informative, and I would love to advise people to go through it. She also gives you an opportunity to read your story to others for critique, and tells you things that would be best to leave in or take out of a story to make it more engaging for the children. So I would highly recommend Children's Book Mastery.
I know. It amazes me how much it is associated with writing a book too when Karan keeps on teaching us new material to be an author. I also recommend Karan's coaching program. I will put the link to her website in this episode's notes below.
Did any real-life kids or experiences influence your characters?
I would have to say yes. Being around children, you see, well, for instance, in Larry the llama learns about love, the little lamb gets out and he tells her to go back home and she says no, and little kids will say no. That's one of their favorite words when they're toddlers. And then uh kids kind of have a problem with patience at times, so that influences me. I think I remember my own times. I was rather stubborn myself when I was little, and so I could relate to how kids feel and what they might say in any given situation, and maybe later on wish they knew a better way to tackle the problem.
Sure, kids inspire me too. My nephews inspired my children's book series, The Buddies Adventures.
What age group do you write for, and why that age in particular?
I write for 3 to 8 year olds. Toddlers love the stories, just to listen. Many times they'll bring the same book to me to read to them again and again. And then when they get up in kindergarten and first grade, they like to guess how the story's going to come out, or they get to tell me what they wish would happen, and then that also inspires how I might finish a story. And then uh, I think that up to 8 years old, they like to read it to the younger kids or read it themselves. And I have a little nephew. When he was about 7 years old, he had read my book Larry the Llama so many times, he would go to his grandparents and quiz them on the story to see if they knew the answers. And so it's just a real fun group to write for.
Yes, kids at that age range are at a fun part of life.
What's your favorite children's book from your own childhood?
It's really hard to pick out, but the first one that came to mind when you said that was Mrs. Duck's Lovely Day. Mrs. Duck was wishing it would rain because her little pond that she went swimming in was drying up from the drought. And pretty soon it became a mud puddle, and all the other farm animals were really happy because it was a nice day, but she needed some rain so her pond would fill up so she could go swimming. And then she tried to go out to the beach and the waves were too rough for her, so she had to go back home. But on her way back home, there was a nice rain shower and her pond filled back up. So that was her lovely day. And I just like the way things ultimately turn out for the best. Or a lot of times things in our lives are kind of um, hard to deal with, but ultimately they turn out for the best. And I thought that little book from when I was a little girl started me thinking in that direction right from the start.
Sounds like a sweet story for kids.
How was it like seeing your story come to life through illustrations?
Oh, that was the best of all. I liked the illustrations so much when they were black and white. I said, I got to make this into a coloring book for the kids. But it makes it seem real. It helps the little ones understand what's happening, and gives them good ideas so that it's something they can relate to. So I like that the best.
Yeah, illustrators are amazing at catching our imaginations of our stories.
How did it feel when you held your book for the first time?
I was so proud and happy. I made my husband take a picture of me holding it. And then I sent it on Facebook to all my other friends too, so they could see.
And you totally should have screamed it from the rooftops and posted a pic for everyone to see. Writing and publishing a children's book is a great accomplishment.
What do you hope children take away from your book?
I really want children to understand the positive, loving character of God and have that deep in their hearts from childhood. I just want them to be positive and look for good things in life.
We all need to be more positive and look for good things in life. Thank you, Janet, for that reminder.
Thank you for having me talk about it. I appreciate it, Terry.
You are welcome, Janet.
Have you ever had a child's reaction to your book surprise or move you?
I really like one of I was talking about my nieces and nephews and great nieces and nephews and one of the little girls, whenever she goes to her grandparents' house, her grandparents have a whole shelf full of books for the kids, but she always looks for my book. And I that just makes me feel all warm inside.
I know what you mean. It made me feel warm inside when my nephew told his teacher about my first book that led me reading my first and second books to his class.
What advice would you give to someone dreaming of writing a children's book?
Go for your dream. It's everybody has hobbies, I think. I think people play golf or they go boating or fishing. They have hobbies, and there's something really fulfilling about putting into words uh, what you want to tell a little child, because the children just take it to heart and they appreciate it and they want to hear your stories. They might not want to go fishing or they might not want to watch you play golf, but this is the way you can be connecting with them.
That's great advice.
What can we expect from you in the future, your upcoming books?
Yes, I'm going to write about each one of the fruits of the Spirit. And the next one I have coming out is going to be Perry the Panda Learns About Patience. And she's a little panda bear that, gets into a couple of situations because she wasn't very patient. So she's going to come out okay, but she's going to learn that fruit of the Spirit. And sometimes it's hard for little children to be patient. So, so yeah, I think that will be really nice. It should come out in about 2 months, I think. It's with the illustrator right now, and I'm not sure how long the actual publication process will take. So we'll give it a few months, but be watching for that one.
That sounds another wonderful book. I can't wait to buy it for my nieces and nephews. No age is too young or old to learn the gift of being patient.
How can people get a hold of you and find your books, your website, your email address, your Amazon page, etc.?
Yeah. So if you type Larry the Llama Learns About Love in Amazon, it'll come right up. And then all my books are on the web page, and it's janetashmore.com. So just all you have to do is the https://2 janetashmore.com. And you can see books I've written, what's coming up. There's a place you can contact me, a contact page, and awards that I have won for writing so far. I'm starting to submit my books for awards. So, and then I also keep a list of recommended books on my website, also recommended children's books. people want quality books, I put those on there too.
Thank you, Janet, for your information. I will put the link to your website in this episode's notes below.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Is there anything else you want people to know about you?
So I would like to do local school visits in Tampa, Florida, and I would enjoy doing meet the author events or visiting for homeschool groups, things like that. If that would be a lot of fun. If you want to do that, just let me know on my website.
Thank you, Janet, for talking with me on my podcast, Conversations Between Terry Lynn and New Authors on the Rise.
You're very welcome.
Okay, my listeners, tune in next week when I talk with the new children's book author, Sandy Ecker, and find out what animals Sandy lives around that inspired her series Penny's Adventures. Until then, happy reading with your kiddos.